Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, everybody. My name is Evan. I'm a dumb dad.
And I'm Dave. I'm a dumb dad.
Hey,
buddy. Listen, there's no way of hiding it. This FitDadCEO in the house.
Dave, welcome to the Dumb Dad podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, the FitDadCEO. He's got 1.2 million followers on TikTok, almost 1 million followers on Instagram.
Close.
On Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's your, thread count?
Oh, God. I mean...
We're already starting.
I'm pointing that phrase.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, 74,000, I think I'm at right now, but that slowed down a lot. I think it shot up the first day, and then it was just like...
Yeah,
like a lot of things on the internet, threads is really entertaining for 2 days, and then everyone goes, but what is this exact? What is it actually? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So
it's the nicer version of Twitter is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly what it is.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So we love collaborating with other dads and meeting other, like-minded content creators. And Fit Dad, for those who don't know, he is a content creator that started off as, was it mainly fitness when you started it?
It was mainly, if you want to go way back, I actually started the account because I was using it for my insurance business that I had. And then when I was like...
Are you about to admit to a felony?
No, I am not.
We are recording.
No, I am not. No, I had my insurance business and then I transitioned into fitness, which I was always passionate about. And then I always, posted memes and stuff like that online and on my accounts and everything. And I was just like, I just want to do like funny stuff, and it just presented the opportunity, and I just ran with it. So
that's great. Yeah, you started doing fitness, and then you transitioned and now it's like full-time dad content.
Yep.
My son says, how do you introduce that bit? I told my son.
I said to my son.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember at one point I was listening. I don't know who it was. It was either my son or my oldest. She was just going through my videos, and it was like, I said to my son, 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 and I was like, wow, I just literally, and that's when I kind of was just like, I gotta start doing something else. Like I have to start breaking it up. It's I said to my son, before kids, and then it was like, I said to my son, I said to my son, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, that's good, yeah.
I did one different one. Okay,
one different one. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, before we get too far into this, tell us how many kids do you have?
We have 6.
And what are their...
Sorry, I think the mic cut out. Did you say 6?
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm a dumb dad. We have 6, and they range from, she just turned 15 this month, all the way down to 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
15 to 2. That's good. You have a beautiful family, I'm going to say. They were all...
Yeah.
And thank you again for allowing us to come down here and crash your Airbnb and film with you.
Yes.
You could tell the range of interest to disinterest the older the kids got. I think the 15-year-old was the one with their arms crossed. That kind of just looked at me like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. She was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
She's like, wow, cool. Influencers with gray hair.
Yeah,
haven't seen that before.
I know. And the little ones were like, ooh, what's
going
on?
Yeah. Again, the youngest was probably in the room more than anyone else. Then, like I said, the other one was like, hey, what's up? And then it was like, cool, that's all. Yeah, that's all you're getting from her.
I have a question for you. How do you source your jokes? Do you sit and write joke after joke, or do you just read
real quick?
Real
quick. We got halfway there, but it was like, if you don't know Fit Dad, you'll know him from. So I said to my son, and then it's always a setup of a dad joke followed by no dummy, and then the punchline, and they're great, and those gone super viral. So yeah, well, do you write them? Or?
No. So some of them I write, and then other ones I actually just will research the jokes. If you look, a lot of the jokes that I do are not new. They're old jokes that I try to come up with new punchlines for. And
right.
Because of like the no dummy thing, it actually gives me a different view of the joke, and it gives other people a different view of the joke, because some people even say in the comments, oh, I heard that before, but I love the second punchline for it. And I'm like, yes, so it's going. And sometimes I'll even add a third punchline in the actual caption, so like that's even better. So it's like giving them like 3 for 1. And so people are just like, oh dude, I saw that joke on Reddit, and I'm just like, okay, but I also just came up with a brand new punchline for it, and it's like, you didn't see that on Reddit, did you? Like, what are you talking about?
The internet had a problem.
If you're on the Reddit thread dad jokes and following me, I'm sorry if there's overlap.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's gonna happen at some point. So, but yeah, so a lot of this stuff I'll do research on, and then I will try to come up with like my own jokes and stuff. Like I came up with one that was 100% my own joke, but that included John Cena in there, and John Cena actually saw it and like reshared it. So it was like, yeah, it was really cool. And
what was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember what it was, but I think the punchline had something to do with like not seeing him or something. Like obviously, because that's like kind of his whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember what the punchline is from that one. But I know like I've done one for like The Rock. I've done one with like Will Smith, and that's really cool because like that's really what I was trying to do in the beginning is like maybe somebody sees it and someone picks it up, and they were already doing really well without it, and then all of a sudden celebrities started picking it up and they started resharing it, and I was like, okay, I think I might have something here. But I didn't want to be one dimensional, so that's where I started branching off to like I have all this content like around me all the time, all these ideas and inspiration, and I'm just like, it's time to like start putting it out there, and that's where it kind of started. My brand started taking off more than just being the dad joke guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got to ask because I just think about this because we get asked this question all the time as like making our own content and making these videos is like, I have 2 kids. Evan also has 2 kids. You have ours and
Plus
2 more
2.
kids.
Yeah.
People always ask us like, how do you make your content? How do you have time for it? You have 6 children in the house.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Quickly.
Yeah.
Like literally, like that's like the answer. Like, I mean, most of the time I'll either spend time writing ideas down. If it requires a script, I'll write a script out real quick. But most of the time my ideas will either come to me like right away and I'll just hit record and start doing it. Or I'll see like a meme or something like that and I'll be like, okay, I can add to that and make it better and turn it into actual like video content. And a lot of my stuff that I do, one of my most viral videos I've ever done is the nurse one, the 90s nurse and then today's nurse during like the COVID times. And that, I mean, Jackie's like relatives are like, my people at my work are sending me this video. Like, I didn't realize it was Dave. Like, that's crazy. And, but it was something that I literally got an email from our daughter's like nurse, and it wasn't about her. It was about the situation in general that every parent is dealing with. And so I ended up making that video right then and there in 2 takes. It was like not even, and it was a 60-second video too. And I literally just rambled on and I cut, and then I like changed my hat and put glasses on or something like that. And I made that video like very quickly and just rolled with it and posted it, and it just started taking off, and like everybody was sharing it, everybody was messaging me about it. So I try to do things as quickly as I possibly can because
you
I
have
know
to.
that
you have to get to soccer, and then after that, you have to go.
I mean, literally, like it's like cheer, basketball, like basketball tournament in like New Jersey that's like 45 hour away. So it's like if I need to get something done, I need to get it done quickly. But Jackie's also great too because like if I need to record something and I know I need quiet for it, she'll just be like, "No, just keep them like outside or something like that for like 15 minutes or whatever until one of them screams and then."
But the clock starts right.
Yes,
now,
right, literally right now. Yeah.
I can only imagine. When we first started doing this podcast, we both had. He was like, when we first started, Kevin had his like 2nd kid on the way, so we thought let's start with a fresh baby coming, so we can just talk about the whole experience. But we used to coin everybody else's that has more than 2 kids a 3-pluser. I don't even know what you'd be. You'd be way much times 3.
3 times her.
Yeah. I'm the coach of a basketball team. That's what you just called me. You don't have to add numbers to it.
You said your oldest is 15 though. Do you get a little bit of help from the 15-year-old? Do you gets paid to babysit that kind of thing?
Yeah,
that's great.
She's got her own little side hustle going with her babysitting job now too. So like she's like doing her thing. She'll babysit for us every once in a while, but she'd much rather babysit someone else's kids than our own because she knows how bad they are. And she's like, they don't listen to me, and she's like, they never listen to me, and she was like, so she will every once in a while when she's in a good mood, but I don't really blame her for saying no. Also.
Like, how hard of a time do you give her to be like, oh, she doesn't listen? What's that like?
Yeah.
It's so hard for you.
I was gonna say, geez, tell me all about it. I'm sure that sounds really hard.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is funny, like actually having a like full blown teenager now compared to like 2-year-old. And we were just talking about this like last night or the day before, and it's weird to have like a toddler when we don't have another baby on the way because it's been like that for like 15 years straight. Almost, we just had to keep resetting. And so it's nice to be able to be like, okay, that's the last one. We're gonna let them grow up now, and then we're gonna do stuff too. Like it's gonna be really cool to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean, for ourselves. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic.
Do you have an item that has maintained it through the 6 kids? Like something you did with the first kid? that's the same thing. Like maybe I use the same stroller for our kids. We never got the
there's no way
we
it's a
never got the
stroller.
well, we never got the double stroller because we had our second right before COVID. So then it was just like, well, we don't need a double stroller. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, something. I don't know. I'm curious.
I know it's not strollers because they destroy those pretty quick.
Yeah.
Definitely not car seats or anything. Maybe like a blanket that has just been passed down and is just COVID covered. I'm not sure. But I'm almost certain it's like a toy. Oh, I know what it is. It actually is a toy. So do you ever see that show Handy Manny on Disney Junior? Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Well, so there's this like little toy on there. It's like a flashlight, one of the tools that Handy Manny uses, and it's a flashlight. And our oldest had this. The name was Flicker. And something about this toy won't die. I don't know what it is.
Does it still turn on?
It still turns on to this day. And I'm talking about, she's 15 years old. And we got this thing when she was probably a year old.
Yeah.
It still turns on to this day. It works better than most industrial strength flashlights you'll get from Home Depot. I'm not even kidding. I don't know why it lasts or why. I think it's just waiting till we die and then it'll go. It'll still be around for times,
It's creepy when the last kid moves out, the light just
goes out.
Whoa.
Pixar, if you're listening, there's your story.
Here's your
there.
next movie.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Make that about an existential crisis.
Yes, yeah. And of course it includes a parent dying, so that always has to be in a Disney, thing. So it'll be in there.
We just saw Elemental with my kids yesterday, and my son was talking through the most of the movie.
Like most kids do.
Yeah. And it was just like, I mean, I get it. You could try to quiet him down, but he would just make comments, and you're like, yeah, I get it. And
when you're watching a movie at home, do your kids actually make it through a full movie ever?
So that's the thing. My daughter does.
Okay.
My son, it's funny because when my wife was like, should we all go see Elemental? I was like, all of us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because I was like,
really?
I don't think he can do it.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think he can. And we sat through it. And he did. To be fair, he made it through most of the movie and then just started talking and got up. And we got the back row in one of those like theaters with like the reclining chairs. Mm-hmm. So that was the move. Like get the back row.
Yes.
So that the toddler starts wandering. We're just
fine.
like, all right, man. Yeah, you got to stretch the legs.
Yep.
But have the duct tape just in case.
Yeah, just starts talking.
You don't go on opening night of the movie. You wait till it's a few weeks old. Theater's a little empty.
You go at like 12:30 because everyone knows the deal. It's going to be loud in here. Okay, good.
Yeah, if you go to a kid's movie at 2:00, you can't be mad that you're not hearing the plot.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless it's like back in like Marvel MCU times where people were crazy and still packing theaters at 2:00 in the afternoon. Then you don't want to go there because somebody might throw something at you. But now it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
My
son had his friend's birthday party, and I think one of them works there was like the birthday party was like in this like sound mixing studio. So it was like a movie theater, but there's only like 10 or 12 chairs in there. It's mostly there was like this massive mixing board and everything. But they screened Peter Rabbit. It's like the kid's like favorite movie. And I thought like, man, they like made all the kids popcorn and everything, and I thought like 30 minutes before they're all like, what else are we doing?
Yeah,
and they all sat in there and watched the whole thing. The kid, he turned 8. So it's like a bunch of like,
that's like
7 to 9 year olds.
Yeah.
That's a good age.
There was also like 25, 30 kids there. And I was like, that's pretty impressive that they just sat there and watched the whole movie.
Wow.
Of course, then they came into the lobby when the pizza got there, and it was just absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But I was pretty impressed, thinking like, I don't really see how.
Because they were all sonic charging like the whole movie.
And then the second it was done, it was like, boom, out the door.
And they all freaked out. But my daughter actually turns 5 tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So I'm 5 and 8.5. So they both, she'll sit through a movie. I mean,
that's a good
there's
age.
maybe like a couple like quick breaks. Like goes to the bathroom, I'm hungry, and she doesn't necessarily worry about the fact like what are they saying now. Mm-hmm. But for the most part,
as long as it's colorful and entertaining.
Yeah.
My 2-year-old is the one that'll be like in the middle of a movie and it'll be super quiet and he'll just be like, I'm hungry. Like literally, mommy, we have snacks. Like, and the whole theater will hear, and you're just like, inside voice. And he's like, what's that? What's that? And you're just like, shh. Well, I'll get you a snack. I'll get you popcorn. Okay, can you make sure that it has butter on it? Like, I'm talking. Like,
who's that? That's the usher. They're trying to get us to be quiet.
Why is she saying bye, Papa? He's still right there.
And it has to be me because if Jackie gets up to go to anywhere, he's like so attached there.
Oh.
He's like, where?
Yeah.
Where's she going? And I'm just like, she's coming right back in like 5 minutes. What's 5 minutes? Like, and it's just like, oh my God, I don't have time to explain this to you. What's time?
That's the same thing. My daughter, she's only 5, but she's time is no concept. Nope. It's what number is it? What number is it until this? What number is it until this? And then the same thing. They ask the question. What number is it until this? Until they get here, 30 minutes. Okay, then what number? And you're like, I don't even know what that question means. 29. Like 29 or then what number will? But really, she's asking what time will that be when? Even though she doesn't know how to tell time.
Yeah.
But like everything to her is also tomorrow. You know, tomorrow I'm going to do this, and then tomorrow I'll do this, and it's like, well, that would be
well, that's me as well.
She's like, tomorrow
most of my responsibilities.
She's like, tomorrow I'm going to be this character for Halloween. It's like that's like 6 months from now. But tomorrow to her just means like not right now.
That's funny. My 4-year-old
tomorrow in
does the same thing, and everything for her is, Mom said she's going to get this for my birthday. Dad, I want this for my birthday, and I'm like, well, that's not until November, so like you got a while to go. And she's like, is that tomorrow or like? And I'm like, no,
it's November.
It's November. Yeah.
Also, you will forget that you said that and change your mind about the gift
4 or 5 times from now.
Yeah, 4 times from now.
Yeah.
I'll get you that gift. You'll open and go, thank you.
What's this?
Why did you
like Coco Melon anymore? Like,
Okay.
You watched it yesterday.
I don't watch that anymore.
We walked around Target the other day for a while, and my daughter's like, take a picture of this. Maybe somebody will get it for me for my birthday. I'm like, I'm just like taking pictures of toys with my phone, thinking like, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Now I have these random things that she was just like. I mean, it was so much more like, this is nice.
But did she follow up and ask if you sent it though?
She doesn't even know that. She just knows. Take a picture of that.
So here's my question: did you actually take pictures?
Yeah, I took pictures, and I showed my wife how funny that. I showed her all the stuff, and my wife's like, "Not a chance, not a chance." We already have something like that. I'm like, I know, but she wanted me to
take a picture. Listen, that's the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah. It's all cloud based now. I can take
exactly.
So my phone yells at me that it's full because of shooting our content. But that happens.
All right, so I think it's time we get into our dumb dad moments. These are our moments. As the guest, you can give an evergreen one, or you can give one that happened last week, whichever. I think
you know what we want to know, though.
Yeah.
We wanted us some dirt. Okay.
So,
I forgot to brush 13. That doesn't.
It doesn't count. That doesn't.
How many times this week?
Yeah.
Should we start it off? I'll start it off really quick. I kind of have a pretty simple one.
You give me the
week.
template, and then
I'll give you a little bit of a template. Yeah.
Okay.
So as I said, my son had a birthday party. This was 2 days ago, and there's always been this, like with my daughter's birthday coming up this coming week, it was like it's going to get compact. This weekend's going to get super compact. Months ago, we also decided to surprise my son and take him to Dude Perfect is touring.
Saw that.
So we were like, we should take him to Dude Perfect. He loves Dude Perfect videos. So we're like, we buy the tickets. That's going to be crazy because the next day is going to be the birthday party for my daughter. But that's okay. We'll just make sure we plan way ahead of time. And then, a couple weeks out, my son gets an invite to his friend's birthday party, like a few hours before Dude Perfect. And it was like, okay, yeah, we can make that work. It's always about, I think we can make that work. The scheduling is technically going to be okay. So as we're coming into this weekend, my wife and I are just looking at each other like, this is going to be like a no sleep, 100 miles an hour feeling weekend, And then, so we get into like Saturday for Friday night. And not only that, but he has like swimming on Saturday morning. So it's already like exert your energy, go to swim practice and everything Saturday morning. So
fill that schedule.
Yeah. Friday night, I'm sitting there looking at him and I'm like, are you excited for tomorrow? And he's like, oh yeah, tomorrow's going to be great. And I was like, it is. Unless you go to bed right now, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, tomorrow is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be so much harder than you have any idea how hard tomorrow is going to be. Mm-hmm. I was like, it was like 8 o'clock, about 8 o'clock. They usually go to bed about 8:30, but I was like, if you go to bed right now, I will give you $50. If you go to bed right now and don't come out of your room until like 9 a.m. Just is whatever you do. That didn't even work. It didn't entice him at all. But he went to bed like in about 15 minutes, and then he kind of woke up at about 8 o'clock, which I was like,
I was hoping your dumb dad moment is that you're out $50.
Yeah, that's that. I thought that's where you were going with that for a second.
Trust me, it would have been worth it. So we make it through swim, then we come home, we relax, he takes his showers after swim, we get ready for the birthday party. We're going to have to go from the birthday party to Dude Perfect. So he's already also the meal plan. He was like, pizza and popcorn at his friend's birthday party,
popcorn,
whatever the concessions are at the Kia Forum for an 8-year-old. It would be
pizza and popcorn.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we went hot dog, but it's all the same thing. And so we go through the whole. Everything's fine. He makes it through the day. He's having a great time. I mean, we get to the car after Dude Perfect, and like we didn't even make it out of the parking lot before he's like sleeping in the back seat.
Yeah,
understandably. So the dumb dad moment is the next day at my daughter's birthday party yesterday. She wanted a bounce house. We rented a bounce house at the park. We do the whole thing. And about 30 minutes into it, he's a couple times been spoken to about the behavior, getting a little wild in the bounce house and everything. And then I go over to him and I'm like, dude, what is going on? And he's like, I don't know. And then he just starts bawling. And I'm like, buddy, what is happening? We're just saying, let's just manage the bounce house. It's okay. There's little kids in here. And he's just like having a complete meltdown. And as I'm kind of talking him through it, I'm walking over to my wife and it hits me like, he has not recovered from yesterday. Like
he's exhausted.
Physically exhausted. And I'm kind of looking at him like, dude.
Was it one of those moments where you laid into him a little bit, and then once he started bawling, you went, "Oh, I see what's happening here."
Yeah.
I didn't lay into it, but I was definitely giving him like, "Come over here. We're gonna have a direct conversation here for about a minute." Yeah. And then even the way that was going, he was just feeling like I'm yelling at him. I'm like,
"Was there a
I'm
space?
Not yelling at you.
Was there a space between come and here?
Come here.
Come here.
Why here? And your teeth are together.
Yeah.
So I'm having a stern conversation with him, but he's like, I just feel like you're yelling at me. And I was like, I'm not yelling at you. That's why I brought you over into the corner to have a conversation. I didn't want to yell at you in front of a bunch of people.
He's a corner in there.
Yeah, corner. Yeah.
And I was like,
I don't need to yell because the sound carries on a corner.
So probably it also didn't help that we're hoping like he was there helping set up. It was, and so we telling the guys like, yeah, put the bounce house here. This gigantic bounce house that has a slide and everything. We're thinking like, there's going to be the most shade here. But like my son was in there for 5 minutes. He came out. He looked like a strawberry with a mop on his head. It was like
it was
wet. So like he
wild.
Was like, man,
yeah.
As if you didn't have enough energy already. You just blew it all in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
His son came out and like if he was like, there was a guy in there, he almost killed me. I'd believe it. Like he got in a Jason Bourne style fight.
Somebody lives
like
in there.
One of those 5 minutes breaking boards, like walls, drywalls cracking, getting choked out, but barely get the upper hand.
So my dumb dad moment was just like sometimes forgetting to realize what is happening. What sometimes we expect way too much of the kids without even realizing it. So my wife went over and I was like, I think he's still really tight. She's like, yeah. She's like, he's struggling. Just be there for him. Like, yeah, copy that.
That's like, I feel like my entire existence with our kids. Like, I just feel like it was just funny because my daughter's 15. So like, I try to take her responses and her reactions to things the same way as like my 4-year-old sometimes. And it's like,
interesting.
They don't know the same stuff as them. And sometimes like as like the dad, I still am just like, no, they can do that. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, she really can't. Jackie would say that. She's like, she can't do that. What do you mean? And I'm just like, she's more than capable of doing that. If her sister does it, she can do it too. Yeah. And I'm like, she sees her do it all the time. She's like, yeah, but she may not be physically capable of doing that yet. And I'm just like, okay, got it, whatever.
How many kids is it going to take you to remember this?
Yeah, like honestly, do we need 2 more? Like,
yeah.
No. I was kidding.
I feel like 90% of the time you say they know better.
Yes,
they don't.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't.
Nope. I'm like, it's the first time they've ever done it, so they don't know better. Even if they saw their brothers and sisters do it, they still don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like pure chaos in our house most of the time. Like even here, actually, it's been like. It's funny like being away from home, being on vacation. Yeah. Most of the time, like especially if we go to like Disney World can be very exhausting.
Yeah.
Here it wasn't that bad because they're outside playing most of the time, handling their own business, and it's really the 2-year-old who is the one who's like the most work. Like he's probably the most work of any of our kids ever. He is like the baby. Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah. No lies there.
Yeah, none at all. Yeah. He is like literally like he has been the most work of all of our kids combined. Like I'm talking about all of them.
Oh, all time.
He's given us the work. So it's almost like, hey, if I'm your last one, I'm going to make sure that you remember that I'm your last one, okay? And so he's just been like just a bundle of work. And this trip, for some reason he's just was like growing up and like not. It's so weird. Like even me and Jackie are just watching him. Like he just looks like he's so much bigger. He's acting like he's so much bigger.
Yeah,
and
he's got a lot of good examples of his older siblings.
Yeah, exactly. So well, it's funny because they're the ones that he's acting like now. It's funny.
Yeah.
He's running around and chasing them all, and like my oldest and my oldest daughter and my oldest son were like best friends when they were younger, and like they were like just up each other's butt all the time.
Yeah.
And, like as soon as she started getting close to that like almost teenage years, it was like, and now the two of the youngest are doing the same thing because she's the older sister,
right?
Of the younger one, and now he's like clinging on to her, and they're like best friends about everything. So
wait for it all to come down.
Yes. And I'm watching it. I'm just like, when is this going to stop? And I was like, I know it's going to stop at some point, but I was like, when does it? So yeah, it's been like a lot on a lot of our vacations, especially with 6 kids, but this one's actually been pretty relaxing because they've been kind of entertaining themselves. So
that's what everybody says. You know, a vacation is like you're just parenting somewhere else. It's like you're just parenting somewhere else.
Yeah. But this one actually, we got a chance to like actually relax and like go on like rides and stuff while we were here and like actually enjoy ourselves while we were here. And again, we vacations are mainly for like the kids.
Yes.
But this one I feel like we all finally got to enjoy this like all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can share. Were you going to share your dumb dad?
You go for it. Go for it. Lead it.
It's not as extensive as yours. I'm going to go way back to when our daughter was like younger.
Number one.
Yeah.
First one.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just because I had zero clue. Okay. Disclaimer: I had zero clue about kids because growing up, all my brothers, we were all around the same age. We were only 2 years apart from each other at the most, from each one of us.
Same.
And I had 3 brothers, and I wasn't surrounded by no sisters. The only girl I knew was my mom, really, my aunts.
Yeah.
And I didn't know babies at all. Didn't know their ages, didn't know their early development, none of it. Okay.
Quit making excuses.
So what you're saying is when you had kids, it was like, let's have kids. So I'm just right into the deep end and learn how to swim.
It was awesome that I was like, wow, we're gonna have a kid. That's crazy. And like we were super young, so like even worse. Like I really didn't know anything about babies at all.
No,
I said that 3 times now. Okay, to preface this, and so. It was more like not what I did. The what I did part is the second part of it. The what I said part is more of the first part of it.
Okay.
And it was like so Jackie was like when she was in school, she did like child development and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I would ask her like dumb questions when soon as Sadie was born, I was like, so like when did she start like talking in full sentences, like in like a month? And she was like and Jackie was like, oh my God, who did I just have a kid with? Like literally, she's like, her face is almost like, what are you talking about? And I was like, but
sorry, that was stupid. That was 2 months.
I was like, that was dumb. I was like, is it 2 weeks or what's the deal?
Oh, it's sooner than that.
Yeah, so it's sooner. Yeah.
Please say something so I stop guessing.
There is so much silence in this room right now. Please say something. And then like it went from like, okay, cool, I got that wrong. Let me make myself even more wrong. And I was like, when did they start like walking? Is it like around like 4 or 5 months? Like I'm like running around like straight. And she's like, you literally went from like being born to like walking. Like, what are you talking about? So like, that was the first part. I didn't know anything about babies like at all. And then the day we brought her home, there, the little.
So you were asking those questions in the hospital.
In the hospital before she was born, still after she was at home. But
why was it? What is that nurse's problem? See the way she's looking at me when I was talking to you?
The looks of judgment in that room must have been like,
is she going to drive herself home or do I have to drive her?
I was going to say, so from 0 to 4 months, walking and talking full sentences, everything. So then to get to driving a car, it must be a big slow run.
Yeah.
The best part is at least I didn't like, I wasn't doing the things that I see in certain videos where some dads are like, can I get like a bed too? Like, I know she's like recovering, but like, can I get a bed pulled in here for me too? Like, but so then we get Sadie home, we put her in her crib, and she was like, can you just like cut her hospital bracelet off? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. So I go in, I cut the bracelet off, and I leave. About 10, 15 minutes later, I hear, why is this in here? And I'm like, what? And I go back in there, and she's like, you left the scissors in her crib. And I was like, what? And I was like, I didn't do that. She did that. I was like,
oh, you're going to tell... You're going to tell me she doesn't know how to use scissors yet?
What is this thing?
Does she do anything at
Yeah.
all? Like what? I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm seriously gonna be like the worst dad like ever. And she was like, I was like, she's not gonna be able to like grab it or anything. I was like, she's gonna be fine. But I was like, that was kind of like my ultimate like just like stupid moment when she was like just born. And I was just like, this is gonna take a lot of work. I know it. This is gonna be a lot of remembering things. So yeah. So that's kind of like my dumb dad ultimate
Leaving
like
scissors.
years ago. Yes.
That is a really good one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that you say that, like, how either you think like, oh, this is going to be so much harder, I'm going to be really bad at this, but how much of parenting is really like that? You really feel like that was so stupid.
Yeah.
I need to check myself on so many levels of like what I need to understand, think through, and you still make mistakes all the time. But it's all those kinds of things are quite humbling. I think
it really is. Like I mean, everything from like just like the things you do to the things you say to like, I mean, it's literally like you're like almost, you're not second guessing it in the moment, but then it's like almost like their reaction. Then you're just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have done that. You know, it's like it's like all those stuff. And then it's like all those memes and stuff we always see. It's like you lay your head down at night, you know, to go to bed, and you're just like, did I do my best job that day? You know what I mean? And you're always questioning yourself. Did I do even if it was a great day, it doesn't matter. It's like, could I have been a little bit better? Could I have been a little bit more calmer? Could I have been more understanding? Like all that stuff. And it's like, that's never going to go away. It doesn't matter how old your kids are. It's always going to be like that.
That's the most stressful thing is like especially when you like, you know, I don't know, like step outside of like gentle parenting or whatever style of parenting you do. Like, you know, you get a little stern with your kids and then like they're pushing back on you and you get like angry, and then like when you come down to their level and it works, you're like, so would that have worked right away?
Yeah.
Did we have to earn this moment? Either way, I feel terrible.
I mean, honestly, it really is. It's funny because it's like every level kind of has that. Every age group kind of has that. And like, especially when they're older and they're teenagers and they understand more. And we remember being teenagers. We do everything. And it's kind of like in that mode right now. And it's kind of like, okay, I just need to be more understanding, because me growing up, I didn't really have that. Like, I didn't have that understanding all the time. It was kind of like, this is my way, and if you don't like it, you can leave, period. Like, it's kind of like one of those things. And it was like, that worked for my, you know, growing up, but you start to kind of adopt those things in yourself. And I was like, I can't be like, I don't want to be like that. I can't be like that.
Well, and we've talked about this too before. It's like before, you know, when we grew up, there was no internet, you know, and it was like the parenting for generations is done like my parents parented me this way, and so on and so forth. And now there's the internet, and now there's like what we do, like even what we're doing right now, sitting around the table talking about being fathers, what the mistakes we've made, but like how you parent, how you talk to your kids, the, you know, the relationship you build with your kids is like, that is so healthy, obviously, to do that. But now you have like, I mean, the internet is an unlimited source of like things you probably should do or maybe shouldn't do, or things that may work for you or may not work for you.
Try it, and if it doesn't
it's
work,
amazing how you can like, but I think that's also like the right attitude about being a parent in general. The fact that you do lay in bed and think, could I be a little bit more patient today? Could I be a little bit better tomorrow? Like, that's the right attitude to have. Not like, I'm going to be perfect, I want to be perfect. That's not going to happen, period. Just striving to be a little bit better. That works in all aspects of life, but especially in parenting, where it's just like constantly transforming, changing, constantly making mistakes. But if you're trying to learn from that mistakes, then
the nice thing about
maybe
the
a little
internet,
less dumb, but not on this side of the boat.
The nice thing about the internet, if it starts with article starts with Florida dad, you know, don't do that.
Don't do that. Immediately don't do that. Most of the time.
If you have to say the state, not going to be good.
Anytime they include a state in anything, first of all, you already know if Florida's in there.
Florida.
In any story.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be something crazy or wild. It's totally out there. Every story has proven that in the last like 5 years.
Nobody's ever seen Florida man wins Pulitzer Prize.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
No, it's astrophysicist or whatever.
Florida man wins Pulitzer Prize, rolls it up and sticks it up someone's butt. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like something like that. It's never going to be just
is immediately eaten by alligator.
Always has to include an alligator in there somewhere. Somehow.
I was going to say probably like swallowed by an alligator.
Good Lord. The nice thing about your story, though, is because that was your first, is that like from then on, anytime you were like, honey, where are the scissors? She was like, did you check the crib?
Yeah, I know.
Nope, not
That's
in there.
a gift that keeps on.
Okay.
That's a dumb bad moment that keeps on giving.
I'm sure I just did. I mean, I wouldn't even had time to think with our second. Maddox was born in 15 minutes. Like, she went into labor and literally she delivered. And
wow.
Actually, no, it was like an hour later, but it was 15 minutes after we got to the hospital.
Seth Meyers thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. So I didn't have much time to think about doing dumb things with that one. So, and then I remembered, what did I do with Sadie? Don't put scissors in there.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. No, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. Yeah, we should have a whole bunch more. I'm ready for this. No scissors in the crib.
The nurse is like in there while you're changing the baby. Just don't put scissors in this crib. And the nurse is like, what happened?
There are no scissors here.
Scissors here. I took care of that.
Don't worry, nurse. I know that this one won't be driving home.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Okay.
Pretty experienced now.
She's like calling the other nurse, like, why is he saying this stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
You've been in 13B talking to this guy?
Yeah. I think it's Tommy Johnigan who said something about, like, I think it was him who he had a stand-up bit about, like, anybody can have a kid. Anybody. Like, nobody gets drunk one night, woke up and was like, last night I built a shed.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
just seems like there should be more work. But
if anything, some people get really drunk, and then last night I ordered like $600 worth of votive candles or something like that. But not building a shed.
Not building a shed.
I mean, I don't think I could do that sober.
Yeah. I know I could.
Yeah.
What's a foundation?
Seriously. I could try.
Yeah.
Sure, but...
Yeah. So my dumb dad moment is, well, let me preface this with, so this summer, my wife, who works in post-production shut down. It has nothing to do with the strikes. But she was just off, and that happens in production. It's unpredictable. So it worked out in a way that she had the whole summer off. So like the week my daughter got out of school, she was off work and is starting back like soon next week. But because of that, she's going to be home. And because I do this dad content and I was a stay-at-home dad before that, we were both home. And then we decided not to put the kids in camp because it was just like, we did this week because why not? But for the most part of the summer, it's like, let's just enjoy the summer. We're both home. She's not working at all. I'm doing this stuff, but my schedule is super flexible. So it's just like, let's just, we've done vacations. There's been a lot of stuff, but the kids, we've all been on top of each other.
Yeah.
For, I think 18 years now. I don't know. Yeah. Time is gone. What is 5 minutes, as your kids would say?
Is it tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
So like my dumb dad moment has been like a culmination, throughout this summer break where I've been like kind of my wife's like hype man that she didn't ask for. Like I'm getting like parenting FOMO. And I'm around. It's just like anytime the kids do something wrong, and it's because we're on top of each other and we're all stressed. Anytime my kids do something wrong, and it can be something simple, like not like it's a yelling thing. It's my wife is just like, hey, don't throw that at your brother. And I like pop around the corner and go, throwing things? Come on, guys. And then it was just like something else of just like, hey, we don't say that word. And I was like, what are we saying that we shouldn't be saying? And it's just like one after the other where every time my wife reprimands them, I'm popping in.
So you're
and just like, unreal. Yeah. You know better. No, he knows better. And I'm doing all that stuff. And eventually my wife had to pull me aside and go, I can parent this. Like, can you let me parent, please? And I was like,
Iago, get out of here. Like, seriously.
And I was like,
what do you mean?
But it was like this moment where she was like, can you just not stop? And I didn't realize I was doing it. It was just like, I felt guilty because I'm in the room and she's the parent as well as I'm the parent. But like to hear them like correct the children, I was like, well, I'm here too. So I'll help with that.
I'll back you up on that.
And it felt like such like I was being such like the 50s dad.
Yeah.
Who's like, doesn't know what's going on. It was like,
you just hear one thing. Yeah. And you chime in.
Is my belt staying on or not?
I'm feeling it loose.
Yeah.
I can't hear the damn radio.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my dumb dad moment. Nice and simple. It was just a culmination of just me trying to over-parent, and my wife pulled me aside and was like, she didn't pull me aside. She said it right there.
She pulled me aside. I know. She pulled you into the corner. She had her teeth clenched tight.
Yeah.
Come
she didn't yell.
Here.
There's space between come and here.
Yeah.
That's all I wanna
come
know.
Here.
I'm sorry, what did I do?
And it's one of those things, it was one of those parenting mistakes that you make that like the second someone corrects you on it, kind of like what I was talking about, like when you get frustrated with your kids all day and all that stuff. And then when you take the gentler approach or whatever, I mean, there is that like, wonder is like, would this have worked? did we have to get through that struggle for the gentle moment to work? Who knows? We'll never know. But it was like one of those moments though when my wife said that to me, I was like, oh yeah, no, I know I'm doing it right away.
Yeah.
The second you said it, I was like,
Yeah.
you know, no further explanation.
Now that you've outlined it for me, I can hear actually how long I've been doing it.
Yeah.
You're like thinking back like, oh yeah, wow, yeah. I got that. Yeah.
There's a lot of unnecessary jumping in.
Yeah. I just love for unreal,
guys.
She's just probably looking at you like, will you get out of here?
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, yeah.
That's a very sitcom-y dad move to like pop out of the hallway too. What are we saying in here now?
Yeah. What did he do?
Fine.
What did he do? Like, it's if you have to do that, don't worry about it. Your partner's got it.
I do. Yeah, I trust me, I get that. Like we both work from home, and that's like always like that. And she'll back me up. I'll back her up when saying certain things, especially when I know it's like something repetitive that they do.
Yes.
And I'll be like, do we seriously have to have this conversation again? And she'll be like, I just said that. Like, she's like, I literally just said that. Like, come on, like seriously.
I can't help myself if my wife says, I just told you.
Yeah.
Then I'm around that corner fast.
But it's like, you heard her just say, I just told you. And you're like, well, I'm going to say it one more time. All right.
But I haven't said it yet. So tag me in.
Because I want to say it too. So,
Yeah, I'll use my tone.
yeah.
Is your hand in my face you tagging me in or telling me to go?
When you went like this, is that you going
Yeah.
asking for a high five
Yeah.
tag, or are you telling me to stop?
Yeah. Because it was really close to my nose.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Those are the dumb dad moments of the week. That feels about right to me.
That feels about right.
Yeah.
You're at FitDadCEO
At
on
FitDadCEO.
all
Yeah,
platforms.
on all platforms.
Even on LinkedIn. I noticed on LinkedIn as well.
Yes, I did change it on LinkedIn. Yes,
Yeah.
recently. I don't even use
can
LinkedIn,
update
but
all
I
those
just
profiles.
use that more for like business than anything else. Usually, it just sits there, and I get notifications that I just go on because I'm neurotic about notifications, and I'll just go on and click out and all that. So
Clear that
yeah,
red bubble.
Red bubble. So I don't know what it is in my brain, but I was like, I have to do it. Go away. Yeah.
I have one fitness app with a large number on it, and I just need to delete it.
That's I have to, well, mine is like my Fitness Pal. It's like I always try to get into
My Fitness Pal. That's what it is.
Yes, yeah. And I always try to go in and clear it out. It's so annoying. But the worst is like, do you ever go into your app and you have no notifications at all?
Nope.
Then you go in and all of a sudden you have 250 that you have unanswered, and you go back out and it's there. It's like you had none
Because you woke it. You woke it up.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you have a notification from a year ago. I'm like, oh, shut up. Like,
Why did I poke the beast?
Yeah.
Okay, so
clear this out.
before we go, let me say that really quick. We already addressed, like, how do you make your content? You have no time to do it. You have 6 kids. How do you stay fit? What time do you do? What is you must have like a very quick routine.
One, genetics, I think, is a good is part of it.
Yeah, good. You heard it here first. Okay, it's all genetics. We have no chance, Kevin.
A lot of it, I think, is just genetics. That works, thank God. And the second part is I try to stay as consistent as possible. Probably not as consistent as I was like probably 2 years ago, but it's enough to maintain. I'll just say that.
There you go,
I did bodybuilding and all that stuff before, and I think it just kind of like still stuck with me like a little bit. But I am currently going to start getting I'm higher. I just spoke to a trainer like a couple days ago, so we're gonna see if we can get myself back to kind of where I was a few years ago, close to.
Have you ever eaten off of your kid's plate over the trash?
Yeah.
That's the way. That's how we sort of maintain.
I just want to know if you're a relatable person.
I have. If it's mac and cheese and it's still somewhat warm, even though mac and cheese doesn't last very long in our house. If it's like a nugget that's still only maybe a nibble on there,
I get it.
I'll eat it. But yeah, I definitely have.
Yeah, the secret to mac and cheese is not waiting.
Yeah.
You stand over the stove with a wooden spoon
And
before you give it to them. That's how
Get
you
it.
get
Yes,
it.
you got to get it right then and
Get
there.
it fresh,
Yes.
and then
yeah.
here you guys go. This is all you.
Oh man.
But I never won any awards when I was bodybuilding, so there's that. So it's all, and it's because of the mac and cheese mainly. It's those little things.
Yeah.
My addiction to pizza is like I'm pretty sure my last words will be me putting pizza in my mouth, and then just falling flat on my face.
That was one too many.
Yeah, literally, like I used to eat entire pizzas like by myself. Like it's, we've all been there.
Yep.
But I'm almost certain that is the way I'm gonna go, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen. Of all the ways it could happen, I don't think that's
not a bad
probably
way to
near
go.
the top of the
Yes.
list. Well, again, thank you for sitting down with us today. It was a fun chat.
We're the Dumb Dads. You can follow us at the Dumb Dads on all platforms as well. Check this out on YouTube. You can watch the full video. Subscribe and rate and review this podcast. And do you have we like to end this with a dad joke. Do you got one?
I know he's got
You're the dad joke guy.
I got one. I have one planned because I have Superman's crotch over my corner. I know over my shoulder. I don't know if you can see it or not. So I figured I'd do an ode to Superman.
We're in this Airbnb that's very DC superhero themed.
It is, and they hit every detail. It's crazy. So I'll do a Superman joke. What is Superman's favorite street?
What is Superman's favorite street? Lois Lane?
Got it.
From one dad to another. You got it. Within one. There you go.
Oh man, we didn't get stumped by the dad joke game. We did it.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?